Well, ICT in education is an exceedingly important initiative of the Government of India. It was emphasized both in the National Policy on Education 1986 as well as the National Curriculum Framework 2005. The basic purpose of ICT in education is to harness the demographic dividend that we fortuitously have. As we all know, the average age of India today is only 24, and by the year 2020 it is going to be 29, at which point the average age for USA would be 37, average age for China would be 37, average age for Europe would be 42 or 43, and average age for Japan would be 49. This shows that India has a tremendous advantage in terms of having large and growing young population. This is what is referred to as the so-called demographic dividend. But this demographic dividend is like a check which has not been encashed. It is fortuitous development that we have the benefit of this demographic dividend, and this is going to be available to us for next 15, 20 years. And we must harness this demographic dividend in terms of converting our society into a knowledge society, and ICT in education is going to play a very important role in our transition of the Indian society into a knowledge society. That is the basic purpose of ICT in education. Keeping that in mind, now this is something that was emphasized, as I mentioned before, it was emphasized in National Policy on Education 1986. It was also emphasized in National Curriculum Framework 2005. And Government of India has come out with a very ambitious scheme. There is a national mission on ICT which is run by the Ministry of Human Resource Development. Under this very ambitious scheme, about 5,000 crore rupees were provided in the 11th five-year plan for creating ICT infrastructure in schools. Why do we attach so much importance to this? As I said, broader goal is to convert our society into knowledge society, but breaking it down to specifics, that is what we are here to talk about. Breaking down to the specifics, ICT can bring about a paradigm shift in learning outcomes, in teaching, in learning, in teaching, in research, and in management of school. And all these four are very much there as a part of the objectives of the scheme. This scheme of ICT mission on ICT has many objectives, but the basic objective there is to create an enabling environment for promoting usage of ICT in schools. It can also be used for enhancing the capacity of teachers, for enriching the existing curricula and improving the pedagogy. It also means enabling students to acquire skills which would be needed to survive in this digital world, and to create a special learning environment, effective learning environment for children with special needs. These are, and at the same time, also developing and learning and transforming the classroom environment from teacher-centric to student-centric learning. That is the basic purpose. Very specifically speaking, that is the basic purpose. In what way it can improve the teaching learning outcomes? It has been established all over the world that the teaching outcomes are much better with the use of ICT in terms of better test score, the accessibility of education, accessibility to education improves a great deal because of ICT, because one can go beyond the classroom teaching and one can have an outreach in the remotest possible areas. One can also have outreach to those strata of society who have difficulties in accessing formal education, such as these children with special needs. So in terms of access, it can give a big boost, At the same time, in terms of quality, it can make a lot of difference, because the environment for learning will become completely different. And as I said before, it will shift from teacher-centric environment to student-centric learning environment, and that will make a lot of difference and enable the students to learn on their own, because learning is a continuous process, and the tools and the devices, the technique that they learn with ICT in schools can certainly hold them in good stead as they go up in their life and as they pursue the career that they want. The ICT can also be useful in combining the vocational education with the formal secondary education. These days, we are putting a lot of emphasis in the 12th five-year plan, which is about to start. As you all know, the 12th five-year plan will start on 1st of April 2012, and it will go on up to 31st March 2017. And we are all working on formulating this 12th plan. In this plan, one of the most important thing is going to be accent on skill development along with education. What is needed in our education is to, vocationalization of our education is required, and at the same time, we want to insert general education into vocational education. Today, the vocational education does not carry a social prestige. Those who do not succeed in formal education, they go for vocational education. This needs to change. And to change that, ICT can play a very big role in terms of providing a very powerful device, wherewithal to reach students who can learn in different modular courses at their will. Some of them can be high school dropouts, some of them can be working. It has implications for adult education also. So for vocational education, people who have left the school can use at their convenience and at a place of their own preference and convenience, they can access vocational education through distance learning mode. That will be possible only with the use of ICT. So ICT has a tremendous potential in transforming our school going students, their learning outcomes, management of the schools, extending it to vocational education, extending it to adult education, and extending it to those strata of society which are normally not accessible, for whom the education is not normally accessible, such as children with special needs. So it has great potential in terms of all three aspects of education. One is access, second is improvement in quality, and third one is establishing equity across different strata of society. So every which way you look, ICT has a great potential, and that is something we need to learn more. These are the objectives. These are the expectations from this program. How far these expectations are fulfilled is something that we need to find out by a detailed survey, which is being undertaken by EQFI. A question that arises here is, what are the state level challenges or challenges at the grassroots level, the problems of planning at the at the level of local bodies? There are various problems, but I would like to focus on two sets of problems in this regard. First problem, let us understand the nature of the scheme. For example, under the scheme, if I remember right, the unit cost, the scheme, the mission ICT, this particular mission on ICT has created and is in the process of creating more. They are creating a kind of computer lab with at least 10 computers, a server, a printer, and a LAN network. And the average cost per school is expected to be about little less than 7 lakh rupees, 6.7 lakh rupees to be precise. And the guidelines which are given by the government is that 75% of that will come from the central government and 25% will come from the state government. But this is the general rule. But as far as the northeastern states are concerned, 90% is from the central government and 10% is from the state governments. So the first set of problems that arises is that oftentimes even the low share of the states that they have, 25% for normal states and 10% for the northeastern state, sometimes states have such acute budget constraints that their share, they are not able to give their share, and that creates a problem, because unless the states provide their share of 25%, the remaining 75%, which is the bulk of the cost, is not released by the central government. So first set of problems is to make sure that the states make relevant provision for their share of the funds in the total. That's one. Second set of problem is the problem of coordination, because ICT has to be coordinated across many sectors, and that is sometimes that requires, there are serious convergence issues involved. For example, you may have a great IT infrastructure, but if the power supply is not regular, then that can create a problem. So at the grassroots level or at the state level, at the local bodies level, they have to make sure that all other components come and work together to make sure that ICT runs as smoothly as possible. The third challenge at the local level, and this is a very important one, is converting the e-content of the courses into regional languages. You know, while English medium is fine, to really be able to reach as many people as possible, they have to convert the e-content into regional languages, which is very, very important. The vernacular language, the language of the region, is going to be very essential in terms of reaching out to students in different parts of the state and in different strata of the society. So those are some of the challenges and problems that are going to be faced, that are being faced by the state governments at the regional level and also at the level of the local boards or local planning units. Yeah. I'm very happy that EQFI has taken an approach which involves association of multi-stakeholders in this study and in this process. I think it's very important, because the government may plan things and government may have lofty ideas and noble goals, but in what way the practical difficulties at the state level and the local bodies level come up, which have a bearing on the success of the program, is something which is very important. So bringing together all these stakeholders on a common platform to discuss the practical issues is something which is very important, because that can give a very crucial feedback to the policymakers like me, to Planning Commission, to Government of India, to the Ministry of Human Resource Development, and to others who are concerned. This feedback by practitioners, those who have experience of working at the ground level, and those who are aware of the ground realities, bringing their experience together can only improve this scheme, because the feedback that we receive will help us modify, reformulate, and implement the scheme in terms of greater degree of effectiveness. And that is why I think EQFI has done a seminal service. You know, they have done a singular service by bringing all of you together on one platform to discuss the issues involved in ICT in education. I wish EQFI and their proposed study all the very best. Thank you.